Alright, this is a remake of a previous upload that I had put forth concerning one of the 12 apostles of Christ, Simon the Canaanite, also known as Simon the Zealot. I'm going to prove in this video that he was not an actual literal descendant of Canaan, although he was known to go by a couple of very odd surnames. That was not the case. Alright, I'm going to read Matthew chapter 10 and verse 4, as well as Mark chapter 3 and verse 18, and last but not least, Luke chapter 6 and verse 15. Alright, now if you take a look at this fourth verse of Matthew chapter 10, here it gives us the name of Simon, the apostle of Christ, that goes by the surname the Canaanite. Alright, turning over to Mark chapter 3 and verse 18. Here he goes by the exact same name we just read in Matthew 10 and verse 4. Simon the Canaanite. Let me highlight it. Alright, highlight, damn it. Alright, there it is, Simon the Canaanite. So, two different Gospels, two different chapters, two different verses, the exact same name for Simon the Apostle of Christ. Well, the exact surname, which is Simon the Canaanite. Now, if you turn over to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 15, here he goes by a different surname. Here he is mentioned as Simon the Zealot. See that? Simon the Zealot. Now I'm going to look up the meaning for the word zealot in the Greek, because remember, the New Testament was written in Greek. So let's see what that word means, zealot. I want to get the definition for the word zealot in the Strong's Concordance. If you translate that word to the original, which is in Greek, it has a definition, and it says, one who is eagerly devoted to a person or a thing, a zealot. Hence why Simon is called a zealot. He is eagerly devoted to spreading the word of Christ, as well as devoted to Christ himself in doing his work. Now, scrolling down. This word zealot can be found in the New Testament in 8 different places. See that? So 8 occurrences of this word throughout the New Testament. And these are Greek words because the New Testament was written in Greek. Here it is. The one place where it can be found. The first time it is found is in Luke chapter 6 and verse 15, and it is used to describe the Apostle Simon. Alright? Now I'm going to look up the word Canaanite, the word that is used to describe the Apostle Simon's surname. I'm going to look up the word Canaanite in the not in the Hebrew, in the Greek. Let's see what definition it has for me. So, alright, here it is. 2581 in the Greek. Cananeos. Cananeos, Canaanean, Aramaic for zealot, surname of one of the 12 apostles. Now I want to see, where can this word be found throughout the New Testament? How many places? Alright. So it is a word that is used to describe the apostle Simon the Canaanite. See that? Alright. Here it is. It says, surname of the Apostle Simon, and it can be found in 2 places throughout the entire New Testament, Matthew 10 and verse 4 and Mark 3 and verse 18. We just read that. We just read those 2 verses from those 2 chapters in those 2 Gospels. So let's see, is that the only 2 places? Yep. According to Englishman's Concordance, that Greek word, kavavaios, or kavavaios, can be found in only 2 places throughout the entire New Testament. And that is in Matthew 10 and verse 4, as well as Mark 3 and verse 18. Alright. Now, okay, here's the actual word for Canaan, in the Greek. See that? Clicking on it, see what definition it gives me. So it's 2 different words. The Canaanite word that is used for the surname of the Apostle Simon, and this is the actual word for Canaan in the New Testament. This is how it's spelled. See that right there? It's spelled with an X instead of a K. It says Canaan, earlier name of Palestine. See, so this one traces back to the actual word Canaan, unlike the one used to name the Apostle Simon. So there it is again. Now let's see, how many places in the New Testament is this word found? 2 separate places can this word be found. And it's in Acts chapter 7 and verse 11, as well as Acts chapter 13 and verse 19. And this word does have a connection going all the way back to the land of Canaan. See that? Hebrew origin, Canaan. Strong's exhaustive. So it's spelled differently than the word used for Simon the Canaanite. See? Alright. Now, alright. And just to further cement my point, alright, this is Matthew chapter 15. I'm going to scroll down where Christ is talking to the Canaanite women. And there's a big difference between Simon the Canaanite and the Canaanite women in Scripture, alright? This is concerning the faith of the Canaanite woman. See that? Verse 22 says, and behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast. I'm about to show you that this is an actual Canaanite woman. Unlike Simon, the apostle, the so-called Canaanite, which he's really not. Okay? And this is what Christ said to this Gentile woman. He answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So it's clear that he was not a Canaanite because he's not dealing with heathens. So you really need to look into these things because people get all bugged out. They don't know. They haven't heard of a strong concordance, much less know what it is or how to use one. So, alright. Now, let's look up the word Canaanite that is used to describe that woman of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 22. Here it is. Canaanite. See that? A Gentile of Palestine. 5478 in the Greek. All these words I'm looking up in the Strong's Concordance, they're all Greek words because the whole New Testament was written in Greek. So notice they all don't match the name that is used for Simon the Canaanite. Alright, look at the spelling of the word. That's where you solve all this mess. For those that don't get it. Because Christ he told the Canaanite woman, look, I was only sent to my people. See that? Alright. Canaan, Canaanite, Palestine. See that? It's in the Greek. Canaan. So it traces, but there's a connection going all the way back to the actual Palestinian land. Alright? And take a look at this. Strong's Greek 5478. This word only occurs once throughout the entire New Testament. And this word is used to describe the Canaanite woman that approached Christ. But Christ told her, I'm only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he told her, I'm not dealing with heathens. So what does that tell you? That this woman was an actual Canaanite. Because think about it. It wouldn't make sense if he's telling this woman, to get lost, yet he has an actual Canaanite for an apostle. That makes no sense. God is not a respecter of persons. It's... Alright, now take a look at the spelling of the word. See that? This is a Greek word for Canaanite. It's spelled Xavaios. So it starts with an X. Now, this is a word that is used for Simon the Canaanite. See that? So the other one started with a X, right? This one starts with what? A K. It starts with a K, not an X. K-A-V-A-V. So the only difference in the wording is the first and last four letters. See, the other word has an X instead of a K, and the last four letters for the other word that is used to describe the Canaanite woman, instead of having a V-I-T-N-S or I-T-N-S, it has A-I-O-S. So it's two different words. And it's telling you it only occurs twice in Scripture. Here it says that it's only used to describe the apostle Simon the Canaanite. Look at the words. K-A-I-O-S. Going back. Do you see any K's in here? Nope. It's an X. A-I-O-S. For the woman of Canaan. One more time, make sure it sinks in. Cavavaios with a K. Zavavaios with an X. Two different words. Alright? So if you don't understand that, then that's on you. Shalom.